It's the Royal Financial Investment Group. As always, this is your host, Prince Dykes here, coming to you guys with another great, awesome, and live video. I've been doing a kind of a little, I don't know if you can kind of call it a vlog, blog, or whatever, where I'm talking about the market kind of every day. So let's go into, the what's going on now. So anyway, the topic of this video is going to be financial drama and my big mistake. So um, before we jump to the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and don't forget to leave some comments and all of the good stuff. But let's jump straight into the video because I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time. So here, what I have pulled up is the Dow Jones. But before we get into it, let's paint the picture to try to put everything in perspective. So right here on the 24th, you guys can see here on the when I'm putting my crosshair here, you can look over here to see the date. So right about on the 23rd, we can see the market was trading over 1800. Actually, it was 18,100, the Dow Jones, right? So the Dow Jones way to look at the market overall. So the market was doing good. Then all of a sudden, on the 24th, you've seen this steady decline that started to kick in. And now we're down here to 17,500 where it closed at yesterday. Now, what really caused all of this? Like, okay, what happened? It really was emotions and drama. First, we had the Greece whole thing pop off. And, with Greece closing banks and stuff like that, I think it was a strategic move by Greece to close banks to get attention because Greece just didn't start having financial problems overnight. It has been going on for some years. But to get everybody's eyes on them, they start closing banks and start to kind of cause that whole crisis situation. And when you cause a crisis like that, you get media, you get things that happen like that, right? So they've been working with the European Central Bank now for years, trying to stay on the euro and trying to get a extended bailout packages, and it's been failing and going through. But now all of a sudden, things are starting to look good for them. I wonder why? Because all eyes is on them. You kind of get pushed to the forefront. Right? Everybody, hey, what's going on Europe? What's going on with Greece? Are they going to stay on the euro? So good for them. So now that things are starting to look better, those things start to drag down the market. As you can see here, these things, while it was going through negotiation, they started to drag down the market. Then here on the 29th, they had that meeting on Sunday, and they said, heck no, stuff started to drag the market down even further, right? So now they fired their Prime Minister of Finance, and they hired a new one. Things are starting to look better for them. So now, but you still see a little sell-off, especially we had a sell-off yesterday. And that's, when Greece fell out of the eye, then China came up. China market was crashing. So I told you guys before, I said, hey, you know what? Greece market is crashing. It's probably a good time to buy some Greece. And their version of the Dow Jones pays a little dividend. Just grab your ETF and go long on it. See where it's at in 5 to 10 years, right? So then I was noticing at the same time, hey, Chinese market is starting to crash. So Chinese market was crashing. Some stocks started stop trading, and everybody's like, "Hey, this is the worst thing that ever can happen." I said, "Hey, you know what? This is the good time when you have the stock market crashing. Even good stocks go on discount. Nothing happened to the companies. Nothing has nothing to do with what's going on, but just due to the overall market doing bad, everybody does bad. So it's like, huh." That's when I seen the red over in China. That's when I said, hey, it must be a clearance, must be a sale. Let's go over there and find some good stocks to pick. So I put that in my last video, 2 stocks that I was kind of looking at that I went ahead and invested in to say, hey, you know what? This would be a good long term. They paid nice little 3-5% dividends. I can hold that. And when the Chinese market rebounds, I get paid both ways, right? So now, coming into today, the Chinese market has rebounded. It had a big rally today. Doesn't know how long. It's been very volatile over there, so it can't say that everything is fine now. But it had a big rally today, which is good for me. Ching ching. But anyway, that's the market continues to rally. Also, you mix that in with the U.S. had a big glitch yesterday, right? The market went down for almost 4 hours, right? And essentially what they're saying happened is trading kind of stopped happening and nobody knew it, and was it a cyber attack and whatever, blah blah, what's going on, whatever, right? So if anybody has been following me, know that I'm a big fan of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the only industry that I can say is going to continue to grow, because you think about it this way: everybody is trying to do what? Put everything on the internet, from putting your cars hooking to the internet Your TVs are hooking up to the internet. Your phones, refrigerators, jacuzzis, hot tubs, your bank, schools, everything is going to the internet. Stoplight, traffic lights, all this stuff going to the internet. And the more stuff that's put on the internet, the more vulnerable things become. You're gonna need somebody to protect all that stuff. So the more we keep putting on the internet, we got an app for this, an app for that, Uber, all that. Someone can hack into Uber. Someone can hack into North Star. Someone can hack into Bank of America. Someone can hack into all these different things. So you're gonna need more and more people to protect these things. So I said, hey, you know what? In the future, cybersecurity is gonna grow. That's my thing. So when this glitch happened on the New York Stock Exchange, what the first thing that people said, must be a hack, right? So the only way you can find out that it's not a hack is to have cyber defense people, which means cybersecurity, which makes cybersecurity more important. Every time you turn on the TV, Target has been hacked, Walmart has been hacked, this person's been hacked, all of the stuff like that, right? So when you have those things going on, those are things going to be of the future. Now back to the question at hand. Right? People say, hey, what do you think happened on New York Stock Exchange? The market closing down for 4 hours. I said, well, think about it. The New York Stock Exchange is ran by computers, right? And what do computers do? Computers have glitches. How many times you use your laptop, a desktop, a phone, and you had to restart it, or it doesn't have a glitch, or something happens to it, or whatever? It's computers. They're not perfect. They're not going to run 24/7 every day, all day. They're going to have times where they're going to have to reset. Excuse me, but they're gonna have time to have to reset. They're gonna have times where they're gonna have to they're gonna mess up essentially, right? So that's what I honestly believe. That's what I honestly believe happened. Either that, or maybe it could have been a possible cyber attack or something like that. But then again, that reiterates what I've been saying from the beginning, that if to stop those cyber attacks, the threat is growing every day. So your defense has to get better and better and better, right? So that's one of my things on that. That's my belief on the cyber. What happened in cyber, not cyber, but what happened with the New York Stock Exchange and how it relates to cyber defense. What's going on in Greece? What's going on in China? Now that Greece is things are going pretty good with Greece. On Sunday they have another vote, and on this Sunday the market will swing on Monday. Right? If they have good news that come out of Greece, 9 times out of 10, if we don't have some other crap go on, my eyes was focused on Greece. Then China started to rear its little head. The U.S. market had a glitch. So, people have been feeling kind of bad or whatever. But I think on Sunday, when Greece announces their big, bailout, they already proposed their bailout. But if it gets approved, the market will swing, right? It will swing to the upside in most cases because it has so much room. Look at all this room we have just created on the downside. All this, we're way down here. This is where the market usually sits. The yellow line is the moving average, right? So you're way down here. So the market is poised for a big comeback, right? So all it takes is some very good news that come out of Greece. The Chinese markets are doing good. Today, the market is going to do well because of the Chinese market. And the Chinese market is rallying. Greece seems like they got their thing going on. People are not kind of worried about the glitch so much. So the market is poised for a rally. Now, because the market is driven by emotions. Now, but when things like this happen, you have great opportunities on companies like, for example, let's go to Apple. It's one I can think of off the top of my head. You can go to Apple. Look at the chart on Apple. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Let's go to the 1 month chart. Look at Apple. Moving average sitting up here. Why has Apple been dipping? Because the whole market has been dipping. So Apple has set itself up to... Everybody knows Apple sits above $125. Easy call option on Apple. Easy, right? Because we know Apple doesn't sit down here. Apple's going to make its way back up here, right? Also, you got the Dow Jones. You got the Dow Jones is poised for a snapback. The Apple is poised for a snapback. All these companies, you've been logging into your accounts. They've been red all this time. Guess what? Those things are poised for a snapback. Starbucks. Look at Starbucks. XBX. Right? I don't want to pull up too much time and pull up too many stocks. You guys can inbox me. But just to show you guys, right? Let's look at Starbucks, right? Look at Starbucks, how it's kind of over these last day or whatever, how it's kind of had its red dip, right? And you can see it's poised for itself for another bounce back. It's been bullish for a while, but it's taking a big dive because everything is taking a big dive, right? So we gotta look at stocks like that. Those are plenty of opportunities that are there that the market is poised for a comeback. Greece is kind of in the balance on Sunday. They will swing the market. As long as the Chinese market, today is going to be Thursday. The Chinese market does good over the weekend or does okay. Nothing crazy goes on. And Greece has this big meeting on Sunday and it goes well. They're going to stay on the euro. They got another bailout to extend for the rest of the month. The market's poised for a big comeback. Now let's get into my big mistake. This is my big mistake that I made. I got a little emotional yesterday, right? If anybody's following me on Facebook, you notice that I've been pretty bullish on the Dow Jones. I said, hey, every day the Dow Jones go down, I buy more calls. Like for example, buying more calls on the Dow Jones, buying more calls on the Dow Jones, as you can see here from my Facebook page, right? I've been bullish on my Royal Financial Investment Group's Facebook page. I've been pretty bullish on the Dow Jones. So, hey, get into the Dow Jones, get into the Dow Jones. Yesterday, emotions kind of got in control, right? I said, okay, Greece is kind of in the la area where it can go either way. Things are looking to get better. But on the other side of the house, you had China. And when you had China, their market was crashing. Then you had the U.S. market that had this big glitch that kind of brings on uncertainty. And I figured, like, hey, you know what? A short-term play, since the market is in a downward trend, everybody's kind of upset with Greece and China, and now the U.S. market has a glitch in it. You know, things may kind of slide some more, right? And I didn't stick with the original game plan, which was, you know, being bullish on the Dow Jones, which I should have stayed bullish or whatever. So I made a short-term play yesterday of putting some puts on the Dow Jones, which wasn't the best idea. Looking back on it, you know, I should have stayed with, you know, the original plan. You know, staying, as you guys can see, the short-term play here. You know, DIA puts, right? I wish I would have just brought me some more calls and or whatever, because I've been buying calls and calls and calls as the market has been tumbling down, waiting for the snapback. So as the market turns around today, if it does turn around today, you know, I'll be profitable on the call side, but my puts that I got, it will hurt me. But that just came from emotions. That just came from, you know, I got wrapped up and started saying, okay, well, maybe a little short-term play could be, I could see things going down. But I just knew all this was just sagging the market down for a big snapback. But I got caught up into it, but that was my bad decision. But hey, you know, it's one of the decisions you make sometimes that, you know, I'm getting better with it over time. Emotions kind of get a little bit best of you. Emotions always get in the way and cloud logic in this type of field. But, you know, it's a bad decision. You know, I share the good and I share the bad. And as I continue to grow and get better and better, you know, you learn a lesson. I don't take losses. I take lessons. That's my L's that I take. I take lessons. The lessons learned. You know, stick with the game plan. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong all the way, right? So anyway, that's my thoughts of what's going on in the market. I give you guys some little stock picks there that are going to have some big rebounds. Stocks are going to shoot up. You know, your companies are just like your Facebook, your Apple, companies like those are who's been sagging that you've been watching for a while. Like, hey, this stock doesn't sit here. They're poised for a big comeback. All it takes is for a little emotion to sag out of the market, and they're poised for a big comeback. But anyway, that concludes my video. You guys know what to do. Until the next video, you guys be safe.